Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this is Daily Go Getimism number 508 for February 23rd, 2016. Alright, so kind of, there's like a couple of things that we need to cover tonight. Like, number one, I want to tell y'all about the show tomorrow night, the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Tomorrow night, that show is going to be off the chain. It really is. The title of the show is, if it wasn't for the fact that they was crazy, they could have ... In other words, we're going to be talking about people who had mad skills, probably better than everybody else that they knew in some area. I don't care whether they knew how to sew, whether they knew how to play sports, whether they knew how to type or some kind of trade or whatever. We're gonna be talking about how it is to be that skilled at something but still have personality problems, to sometimes straight up have mental illness problems. You may have a history of that thing or whatever. And a lot of times you don't really notice this about people that you grow up with, but it starts to manifest itself a little later, and you keep wondering how come they keep switching from job to job, or they're so good at something but they can't seem to get over the hump. And then you start seeing, like, oh, once they reach a certain plateau, then the wheels start falling off a little bit. And then we're gonna talk about ourselves too, because we have a lot to do with that as well. You know how it is when let's just say a lot of us haven't been all that we could have been, because maybe sometimes we get a little cuckoo. It happens. We all get a little cuckoo sometimes. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about power, though. Power. What is it about? What is it about power that we understand or misunderstand? Do we know how to use power? Do we understand what power is? A lot of people think that money is power. They think that money is the only real power that exists in the world. See, that's some real capitalistic thinking right there. To think that the only power that you really ever have to affect change is to pay for it. Either pay your way into it or pay your way out of it. But that's a failure right there. Everybody has gifts. Everybody has certain gifts that they have, and if they learn how to channel those gifts in the right direction, then they will affect something or some people with their gift. And that's power right there. That's a lot of power. So when you're really good at something, then you increase your power at that. The more you increase your knowledge of something, even if all you increase your knowledge of is your opponent, that's a lot of power. You are increasing your power. And as you get better at something, you increase your power, and you may even learn how to channel it in the right direction to be able to use your power effectively. Power in the wrong hands, we've seen what that can do. But there are so many different types of power, and I want to break it down a little bit because I don't want to get out of hand with it. We want to make this as short as possible. When I speak about power, I'm talking about your ability to change something. Not necessarily change something against its will, but when you use your power, let's say we're talking about the power of influence. Let's say that you have the gift of gab. So you are able to really, really communicate with people on a level that makes them want to support you in some kind of way, or makes them want to follow you or endorse you. That's very powerful. Politicians really seek to be able to do that and increase their power. See, power is not just the ability to point and shoot. Like, yo, you do this, you do that. It's not about bossing people around. It's not about firing people. It's not about paying people off. Those are forms of power, but those are not the absolute powers. When you learn the power that you have in your hand, a lot of people are fully aware of their power, and sometimes they seek out people who are less powerful than them so they can feel more powerful. So they bully them, basically. They seek out people who are weak, whether they're weak in their physical stature or whether they're weak-minded. And when a person is weak-minded, then they're very vulnerable to anything that, well, They're very vulnerable to the whims of those who have more power. But see, that's power. That's power directed in a negative way, in a negative direction. And eventually, that doesn't play out too well. It doesn't make you a nice person, and it doesn't make you the type of person that people want to follow. It may make you the type of person that people fear, but I believe that the power of love is a little bit stronger than the power of hate. The power of confidence is a little bit powerful than the power of fear. Think about it. When you're really good at something, when you really increase your power at something, you're able to challenge or accept the challenges of other people. And it makes you more confident. And, you know, your confidence is directly related to the amount of power that you feel that you have. So, and that could be in anything. That could be in academics when it comes to test taking. It could be in sports when it comes to, direct competition. It could be if you are a musician. Speaking of music, the power to really be able to make music, write music, compose music, read music. When you have the entire package, it makes you a powerful person because people love music. So you see the power that really good musicians have when they're world renowned. Let's take somebody like Stevie Wonder. Always made powerful songs, powerful music. Knows how to put a song together from beginning to end. Writing, producing, composing, arranging, and singing, and performing. It's very powerful. Not only that, but he's a good man. So you don't hear too many people speak negatively about somebody like Stevie Wonder, which is different than somebody like, I don't know, Prince, who doesn't normally have a good rapport with other musicians that he has worked with. They don't normally end amicably. There are a lot of musicians in a musician like Prince's past, and it didn't end well many times. He uses power in a certain kind of way. He was very controlling. Anyway, so to make this thing simple, power is anything that you are skilled in. So the better that you get, the more that you practice. When you practice, you increase your power. Now, if you use that power in a good direction, then you'll probably be very popular, and you'll probably be in demand. And if you use that power in a negative direction, you could end up becoming a gangster or something like that. And sometimes we know what that leads to. What it often leads to, and that's incarceration or being killed. We don't want that. So learn how to use your power and think about the gifts that you have beyond your money. Because money is too easy, and it's not a real form of power. Because you would hate to be totally depleted of your power if the money was removed from your arsenal. They can take all the money away from you that they want. If they don't take away what you've learned, which is very hard to take away, and they can't take away what's in here, which is where your passion lies, then you'll always have a surplus of useful power. So use that shit. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. Man, increase your power. Anything that you're good at, anything that you're skilled at, anything that you are able to do well is what you are powerful in. So the better you get at it, the more you practice at it, the more power that you have. Try to channel that in a positive direction. And give charity. Try to increase someone else's power. Everything will work out. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. It's my dad right there. He has a lot of power. He's very powerful, man. 79 years old. It's crazy, right?